It's estimated 230,000 people were killed.
And 300,000 were injured, making the Haiti earthquake one of the deadliest natural disasters in modern history.
1 million people are homeless.
Massive damage to Haiti's infrastructure hampered relief efforts and rendered most media in the affected area inoperable.
Information is desperately needed.
The response?
Days after the earthquake, Internews works with local reporters to produce a daily 15-minute news program.
Information nous doit connaître.
News you can use.
The program airs on 9 local stations, expanding to 33 as more outlets regain their broadcast capacity.
In any emergency, the first priority is the delivery of critical aid. But communities need more than that. They also need information. It's critical for them to know where they can get water, where they can get the shelter facilities, how to access to those medical centers. Is it safe to go home? Where is my family? How can I get in touch again with the people I love? That's why information is critical.
I went to one of the biggest camps in Port-au-Prince. So we're trying to find how those people are living. So is they able to get food? Is they able to get water? So that was the story here for today.
The great challenge is time. One of the biggest challenges is time to be able to do this every day and, get it out there to the radio stations. They don't come here to pick it up. We have to go out and deliver it to them. It's really challenging, but it's really exhilarating work. We are supplying information because information saves lives.
The worst floods in decades leave an estimated 20 million people injured or homeless.
Approximately 20% of Pakistan's total land area is underwater.
The response? Internews helps local journalists in the hardest hit areas of the Northwest region report on the devastation and on relief efforts underway.
6 daily bulletins in Urdu and Pashto provide vital information on how to stay safe, avoid disease, and access aid. For many, the programs are the only source of information.
Internews supports the launch of PAC Report, an online service which collects and maps SMS reports from individuals in flood-affected regions to highlight needs on the ground.
We had already been working with radio stations, so when the floods hit, within 24 hours, these radio stations sort of changed their programming a little bit, adapted to the situation, sent out the journalists to get information on where people were getting affected, where services were located. It's information that people need to survive on a daily basis.
Violence erupts following bitterly contested elections.
Ethnic groups battle in the streets, and thousands of people are terrorized and turned out of their homes.
Some radio stations broadcast hate speech, raising ethnic tensions.
A year later, many Kenyans were still displaced, impoverished, and traumatized.
The response? Within days of the outbreak of violence, Internews convenes Kenyan journalists, desperate to discuss the media's role in inciting the bloodshed.
Internews responded quickly. Internews hosted a series of in-house mentoring sessions, of training activities, and also of roundtables to help journalists cover the events which were unfolding in their communities.
Journalists were trained on journalism principles, and they were trained on how to report conflict stories sensitively.
Some roundtables were used to address the hate speech in the media.
At that particular time, there was still lots of tension, and with this training, the journalists were able to bring people on board and started some kind of dialogue. After the implementation of the training by the journalists, relationships started thawing, and people started communicating and started having a way forward. So it really, really helped.